Hello everyone and welcome to chemistry lesson number 9. This is the properties of non-metals. So after this lesson, take some time to review the lesson, get to know all the terms and the concepts that were taught, okay? And then you can just click right here on this globe and it will take you directly to the properties of non-metals quizzes assignment. And if you submit it to me, then it will automatically be counted for marks. Sorry, I can't give a shout out to the people that did the properties of metals quizzes assignment because I'm recording this in advance, okay? But please, I encourage all of you to continue doing this. And if you haven't been doing these quizzes assignments, please start now. Don't worry about old assignments for now, okay? Just jump in so that you don't feel overwhelmed. Okay, so what are the properties of nonmetals? So here we have a picture of a hammer and it's striking a wine glass, and this wine glass is shattering. So last class and in general from chemistry, we know that one of the properties is malleability, and we know that metals are malleable. They can be pounded or hammered into different shapes. But a property of nonmetals is that very often they are not malleable. Okay, here we have a picture of a metal pan and it is frying some eggs. So this metal part is very heat conductive, but over here, this plastic part, which is the handle, this is not conductive. And the word not conductive, it's actually called an insulator. Okay, so it's a substance that does not conduct heat or electricity easily. Okay, and again, I know that probably you do not have this paper because we're having trouble with the mail, so don't even worry about taking notes. Just follow along as I talk about these papers. Okay, and yeah. You know from your own experience that what things are metals. You also have a good idea what things are not metals. What properties do all nonmetals have? So the properties of nonmetals are, nonmetals are found in all states. Some are solids, some are gases, and one nonmetal, bromine, so everyone say bromine, is a liquid. All elements that are gases at room temperature are non-metals. So everything that's a gas, that's automatically a non-metal. Okay, now some of them are also solids, and we know that metals are mostly solid. There are only two elements on the periodic table that are liquid at room temperature. One of them is a non-metal, bromine. And can you think of the other one? We learned about it a little bit more last class. What is one other element that's a metal that's actually liquid? Okay, I hope you were able to come up with the element mercury. Okay, so there's only two liquids at room temperature. They are bromine and mercury. Okay, let's just see a picture of bromine. Okay, so bromine is a really interesting color. It's a liquid and it's a reddish brown color. Okay. Okay, next up. Non-metals come in many colors. Bromine is a dark red liquid, as we just saw. Sulfur is yellow. Okay, let's take a look at this. Sulfur is yellow. Okay, and sulfur is what, if you smell sulfur, it has a rotten egg sort of a smell, and actually in eggs there is sulfur. That's why they smell that's why we associate sulfur with eggs. Okay, next up. Phosphorus. So everyone say phosphorus is red or white. Okay, let's see a picture of this. Phosphorus. Okay, so reddish or white. The element phosphorus is found in matches, and so it has, when you strike it, it has the ability to burn, which is kind of cool. Okay, iodine, everyone say iodine, is a steel gray solid. Many gases have no color and they are invisible. Okay, so for example, oxygen, right? We know oxygen, it's in our air, so is nitrogen. Nitrogen is also in our air, but we can't even see it, right? It's like clear and it's colorless, and it also is has no odor. Okay, but look at iodine here. Okay, so iodine is kind of like a steel-colored non-metal. Okay, and we might also be familiar with iodine solution. It was used especially in the past, not so much now, to like disinfect cuts and stuff like that. Okay, so it has, when it's liquid form, it has a brownish color. But the element itself, the substance, is actually this kind of dark black sort of steel color. Okay, some properties of nonmetals are the exact opposite of the properties of metals. So nonmetals are poor conductors of heat and electricity. A substance that does not conduct heat and electricity is called an insulator. Insulator. Everyone say insulator. Okay, so conductors versus insulators. Let's just take a look at yeah, this is a good picture right here, okay? So here we have a bunch of conductors. Notice that these are all metals, right? Any metal is a conductor. An insulator is any material that does not allow electric current to pass through it. Let me just see if I can see this in a bigger. Okay, so plastic, rubber, glass, the wood part of a transmission pole, and cloth. These are all insulators, and I think we can already identify, even though we don't necessarily know specifically all the different properties of non-metals, we kind of understand that these things are different than these metals, right? Okay, no, I don't want to sign up. Okay, let's get out of here. Okay, next up. Non-metals have no metallic luster. Okay, so dull versus shiny, that's what luster is. Okay, so let's take a look here. So this is a metal. For example, these might be, I don't know, gold pieces or maybe little rocks that are sprayed with gold paint. Okay, this is coal or charcoal. These are non-metals and they're very, very dull. Okay, so you can see shiny versus dull, metallic luster and no luster. Okay. Metals, non-metals are not malleable. They break apart when they are hammered. Okay, let's just take a look and see non-malleable. Okay, so for example, if I were to take a hammer to this piggy bank, this like ceramic or porcelain piggy bank, it would just shatter. Okay, so unlike, for example, a piece of gold or a piece of silver that can be hammered into a shape. Some nonmetals have odors. Chlorine is a greenish yellow gas with a terrible odor. In fact, chlorine gas is poisonous. Okay, so let me just show you a picture of chlorine gas. It is a yellowish sort of a color, okay? They use this as part of chemical warfare, especially in World War I. Okay, in World War I, it's actually very poisonous. I think it makes something happen to your lungs when you breathe it in, and then it makes you stop breathing. Okay, so we need metals, non-metals in our lives. The gases we breathe are not metals. Oxygen is the most important of these gases. Oxygen is a part of water too. We cannot live without air and water. Okay, let's keep going on here. Okay, so we're going to do this one together. So a malleable solid. So let's just Okay, so a malleable solid does or does not break apart when it is hammered. So if something is malleable, it does not. Okay, so I know you don't have this in front of you, but just follow along with me. The quizz's assignment will be very similar, so I'm going to be taking some of these questions from the next few pages. I'm not providing them to you just because I don't want students to get confused, okay? So I'm going to take a selection of these questions. I'm going to summarize it, and then you're going to do these questions for your assignment, okay? The solid in this picture is or is not malleable. Okay, so this picture right here, it seems like, actually, I'm not even sure. It looks like, okay, I'm going to skip that one. Okay, so let's just say that it is malleable. Okay, so over here, let's just say that it is malleable and it's not breaking. Let's just say it's a sheet. Okay, it's like a sheet of metal. So if it is malleable, that means it is probably a metal. Okay, it is probably a metal. Metals are malleable. Okay, metals are malleable. So I'm just choosing between these two words. Okay, so you are going to see a very similar sort of setup, okay, on a quizzes assignment. So I'm going to ask you about this very same picture. You have to think to yourself, is sulfur a non-metal or a metal? Okay, so we just discussed it. Sulfur is a non-metal. Okay, and then think about it, or if you need to, like, you can have two windows open, you can still just look back on this stuff, right? So we know that non-metals are generally poor conductors, right? We know that sulfur is a non-metal. Okay, so you're going to be using the information. If you need to, read this over again, but I want you to, once you've reviewed it all, you can click over here and do the quizzes assignment. Okay? Okay, everyone, take care and have a great day, and I'll see you at the next lesson. Bye-bye.